Okay, we are now live. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Arragas, City of Dreams. I'm the Bearded Foe, aka Sean Dixon. It is my job to run these amazing group of adventurers through all sorts of high jinks and low jinks and
all the jinks in between.
All the jinks in between, right? Life-threatening scenarios, so that they can adapt and overcome in the most heroic way that they can muster. I think you'll notice our longtime fans, our super fans too, will notice that Ben is not actually with us tonight. We have, although we didn't change his name.
That or his hair grew out real fast.
Yeah, real fast. But who we do have is Duncan, and Duncan needs to scoot over about 4 good inches towards Amanda.
It's okay, I don't mind.
2 more good inches towards Amanda. 2 more good inches.
Come
here,
get over here.
Broad shoulder. There we go. Good. Okay. So Duncan is a superstar in the Texas podcast arena. He is one of their best and brightest over at Tales and Ales. I believe I brought that podcast up a numerous amount of times. And so he is actually in Arragas for pleasure and a little bit of business. So he will be playing a cameo appearance just a little bit later in the show. So we will do a quick recap. First, I want to say hello to Harley's Pudding. Hi, Minnie. You're always like the first to say hi in the chat. That's amazing. Okay, so last week, our heroes ventured into an underground tunnel structure that had been burrowed out beneath one of the graveyards of Arragas by a large creature that was infested with chaos, which of course set everyone on edge. We do have possibly the 5 people in Arragas who hate chaos the most, with maybe Sam Banji and the other Bedu Seekers running a close second. We do have an artist rendition of what happened down in the... That's I believe that's Vesper's hand fondling the neck zipper. This could be the cover art to Vesper's memoirs.
My journal.
Yeah. So they battled this creature which had swallowed a gravedigger named Geary, and they were able to free Geary. Well, I shouldn't say that. The creature spit Geary out because he was sort of like a chewed piece of bubblegum. Most of the flavor was gone. And 5 new pieces of bubblegum had just marched in of their own volition. So the creature went after them. And Kethra Sogard did get booped on the snoot. I know there's some internet rumors flying around about Kethra getting booped, and she certainly did. But fortunately, they were able to slay the creature before it could eat her and everyone else, really. They left the underground with some, I will say, some trophies from the creature. And I shouldn't use trophies. Trophies is not a good word. They're going to be turning in bits of the creature to proper authorities so that they can keep everybody apprised and alert the right people about what may or may not be happening in and under the city of Arragas. So we are now in, it is the morning of the 3rd Soul Day in the Lover's Moon. So that doesn't mean much to most people. What's more important is that this is the first day of the vigil, the 3-day holiday that commemorates the Battle of the Boneyard, which happened 9 years prior for 3 days. Okay, so, thanks, Harley. Thank you. Okay, so, Erister was immediately pressed into duties. The Order of the Shield and Millipole are both very active during the vigil. Not pressed into duties, pressed into duties. He had more than one duty to the city of Arragas.
You're not helping, Sean.
Yeah.
I was thinking
I don't
about
know why you
you.
put
I
us on the
heard
same side
earlier.
of the table.
I don't know either. It was a mistake. I know. It was a mistake. Okay, so so Erister is involved in a lot of community service for the next 3 days, and has to do some parades, and has to help rebuild some homes, and so he is otherwise indisposed and will not be able to really run any missions or anything for Sableguard. So that is why Ben is not here tonight, because he is busy in his military best, marching very prettily up and down several city streets to ensure everyone that we all stand ready in case there's ever another battle of the Boneyard. And he's making everyone feel very, very protected. And I think everyone else is probably going to spend the first day of the vigil engaging in similar activities and sort of recuperating from what went on under the graveyard, right? I mean, I'm sure you guys need to get a little bit of rest at least, and do some sleeping and regain some hit points. So we'll go ahead and say that everybody, not you, everybody gets to regain all their hit dice and hit points. Remember, we at the beginning of each day we roll all of our hit dice, but we don't actually use them, and that's how many hit points we recover from resting.
Where's my character sheet?
I hope it's in that vast portfolio that is over there. Kethra, Sogard, Kethra, I'm beginning to
I
panic.
didn't do anything with
Kethra,
it.
I'm beginning to panic.
I did not. I never do anything with these things like this.
It should be, yeah, you should have like,
This one.
there, right there, that's it, right?
Oh, the other.
There is not a test to become a priest of Aura. There is not a test. You
Listen,
can, anyone can just
I
walk
have
in off the
plus 0 intelligence. Okay.
Everyone except for Ben.
Nice.
And
And me.
Oh, he's got +1. Look at that.
I got a
Yeah,
education.
Sean.
Oh, you did?
Vesper's
Yeah.
getting smart.
I need to update my sheet then, because I've got you at +0 for intellect, for
I
intelligence.
took a feat.
Oh, good job.
That
So,
gave me
okay.
intelligence. So.
Okay, great. I'm changing that right now, if you don't mind, in the official record.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Man, 2
School
7s
of Hard
and 8
Knocks.
and a 6.
Awesome. That was almost max, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that is more than my max.
Oh, okay, well, you just go to max. But you wake up feeling really good. You're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I've never felt
Too
so
bad I
rested.
can't ever do that right now.
Do some lightsabers with your hollow range
Hey, you
shot.
actually hit someone with a shillelagh, so
Yeah, you
That-
did.
I know, right?
Yeah, you did. A couple times.
Okay, so,
I actually do an extra 2 damage.
people who were not here at the very beginning. Yes, this is not Ben. This
Oh, yeah,
is
not Ben.
my baby brother,
Are we-
Duncan, who is also the
Yeah.
DM of the Tales and Nails podcast that we talk about.
yeah,
a lot.
he's one of the superstars out of Texas, which, you know, as we all know, is nothing compared to Oklahoma superstars. But, you know, whatever. I don't want to bring that to the table. Or I will, in a winning way, and then I will forbid all future talk about who's better, Texas or Oklahoma. Thank you.
Well,
All right.
the Mavericks aren't in the playoffs, so.
I don't know what that means. That sounded like sports ball to me. I'll just leave it there at that. Okay. All right. So yeah. So for those of you who are just joining us,
okay.
Sports ball
this is
winners
Duncan, not Ben. His name is Duncan. He is very cool, and he is part of our Texas outreach program for new and upcoming DMs. As you can see, he has begun his bearded journey. He's not quite to faux length yet, but he's getting there.
I'm still bearded friend.
Yeah, bearded bro.
Yeah,
What's
bearded
that?
bro. Oh,
Bearded bro.
dang it, it was right there.
Okay, so we're gonna say that Kethra probably goes straight to
Oh, yeah.
Sambanji. Now, my understanding is okay. So you're escorting Geary because you need to get him someplace where he can be examined and fixed, right?
By these people.
Right, by the Bedu Seekers, right?
Yes.
Because his skin, if you remember when he popped out, was really sort of transparent, and you could see all the goo underneath.
It looks a little better now, though.
Yeah. Erister basically poured as much healing magic as he could into Geary,
Yeah.
and that sort of made his skin much more opaque. But he still looks gaunt. I mean, he looks like a piece of human beef jerky, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're just trying to get him.
Kill him.
He is not in a good mental place. He does not want to live. But fortunately, he's really too weak to fight. To assert any sort of, you know what I mean? Like you're keeping an eye on him because he's been begging to die. And then you also were taking a section of the tongue. Is that right? A section of the tongue.
The
Okay.
front part of the forked tongue.
Okay. Before we get to that, I just want to do a quick retcon for last session. I told Amanda that Kethra had found a brooch of Ara. It is actually a brooch of Galuna. Galuna is the goddess of healing, so we're going to retcon that. It's a brooch of Galuna that she is wearing on her lapel. Okay, so Kethra, you get to basically you don't even really know where to go, so you start heading towards the Church of Ara. Mm-hmm. But as you suspected, as soon as you get anywhere near the church, like a Bedu Seeker is watching you. Right. And so then you just approach them, you tell them what's going on, they immediately are going to take you to Sambanji.
Yeah.
So you walk through the city. You guys have a cloak over Geary. People are up early and they're out, but most people are not really paying attention to you yet because they're busy decorating and they're setting up for the parades and they're doing all of their, they're putting out their shields and their spears and all the decorative stuff that they adorn the fronts of their houses with to sort of, stick it to the chaos man, if you will. Mm-hmm. So you're able to slip through the city streets pretty easily without really anybody really giving you a second look. And the Bedu Seeker that's with you is a young man that you have not yet seen. And he doesn't offer his name. He just says, you say, I'm looking for Sambanji. He says, follow me. Right? Okay, so eventually...
This is like a talkative group of people.
Oh, yeah, no. You guys are doing your best to just hustle through the streets. He actually takes you away from the Church of Ara. And before you know it, you are approaching the palace, the Imperial Palace grounds. Okay. Which you've never been very close to before. Like, yeah, you're like... It looks very beautiful from far away, and the closer you get, the more beautiful it looks. Like it's not, it's one of these things where the details just keep increasing how amazing. And there's these lush gardens and these tall spires and bridges and fountains and clear blue water, and you can hear the river, swinging by. And he actually takes you around to a side gate to the basically the grounds. And you guys go over there. The Imperial Guards, when they see the Bedu Seeker, they don't even confront you. They just open the gate and let all three of you through, close the gate. And you actually go to the palace. You go to a side door of the palace. But once you go in, the excitement sort of ends because there's an immediate set of stairs that lead down. Okay? So you're like, oh, yeah, sure. Why would we be right at the palace? Like, we're going to be under the palace. You follow the stairs down, and you get to a small room where they basically have you wait. Almost immediately, some attendants come in, and they do not have face paint on. They're wearing the Bedu robes. They don't have any face paint on. But they bring you guys food and water, and they bring in some bandages, and they immediately set to work on Geary. Like, they lay him down and they're like cooling him with the cloth and doing all this stuff. And after just a few moments, Sambanji comes into the room, and he looks at you. Oh, Kethra Sogard looks at Geary. He says, "Who is this unfortunate soul?"
This is a grave digger. And then the music starts. Okay.
Yeah. Grave digger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a grave digger,
Mm-hmm.
Gary,
Mm-hmm.
and this information is really important. And I throw I give him the bag.
Throw it on the ground.
So I give him the bag with urgency.
Yeah.
And I was like, we found, and Amanda cannot remember the name of the creature, but I'm sure that Kethra would, a in the graveyard.
Well, you didn't know what it was. She
I
had
thought
told
she
you that there were
said it
some
was-
carrion crawlers, some things called carrion crawlers, but this was way too big to be.
Well, yeah, but I think it's a chaos mutated carrion crawler.
you could say that. Yeah,
Okay.
you could say that.
And I drew some pictures, and I don't think this is a coincidence that all this is happening the day before the celebration starts. That there just happens to be a chaos monster going through the graves. I mean, I don't know exactly who this is connected to or what's going on, but it is way too coincidental for
Yeah.
this to be popping up.
It's a very auspicious time for something
Right.
like this to happen. Basically, the 9th anniversary of the actual battle.
Mm-hmm.
This is disturbing indeed. He opens the bag.
Gary was eaten and then
Closes.
spit back out.
He looks at Gary, and you see him sort of blink his eyes, and you see that glow come into his eyes, and you see him just sort of scanning, like looking at Gary. And then the glow turns off. Go ahead and make an insight check.
I'm gonna use the new fancy dice. Ben, your dice better work, or I'm gonna be a rural man. Insight?
Yeah.
Oh, I have that one. Okay. Oh shit. Ben, your dice suck. I got a 10 with a +5, so.
So you got a 10 total?
Yeah, I got a 10.
Okay. You can't really read Sambanji's expression, but he looks at you and says, "My people will take care of him. Let's go to another place."
Okay.
And you don't know if he means take care of him or take care of him.
16-year-old Kethra is
Yeah.
going to assume they mean they're gonna fix him.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm doing ignorance is bliss here.
Well, with a 10, you probably should. Okay. So he takes you through some hallways, and then you go into a larger room, which is just very sparsely furnished. Excuse me, but at least it has a table and some chairs, and you can sit down.
Cool.
And there's a pitcher of water and some glasses.
Because I'm really tired.
Yeah.
I haven't been to bed.
Yeah, you haven't been to bed yet. Yeah. He sits you down. When you sit down, you catch him scanning you, right? Like he tries to blink it out, and it's something like that. But yeah, you catch him scanning you.
I knew he was gonna do that.
And yeah, and he seems a bit surprised, but also kind of impressed that now this is the second time that you have been exposed to a chaos monster, and you appear to be clean, like you're not tainted in any way by chaos itself. And he tells you that. He says,
but I would correct him with that because Kethra fell into a gas, and so look at Sam and be like, but when I was fighting it, like I fell into a gas that Makaria and my friend Erister were talking about, looked just like the miasma that happened. And I don't know, I had Moonstone on, but are you sure there's nothing there?
Yeah. Can I see your moonstone?
Yeah. So I pull out the black moonstone.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that explains part of it. Moonstone gives us limited protection. That's why we all wear these. And he reaches into his robes and he pulls out a medallion that has a big chunk of moonstone stuck right in the middle of it.
Okay.
And his is a little off-colored, but not nearly as not as black as yours. But you have another one, right? Did you guys
I have
other
two
ones?
more.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so he says, but even so, I'm surprised that you, because you told him that you got swallowed, right? Or did you tell him that part?
No, I said
okay.
Gary got swallowed.
Oh, Gary. Okay,
Not Gary,
okay.
Geary.
Geary, yeah.
Geary got swallowed.
Yeah, from down the hall. Geary, it's Geary. Yeah.
He's still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. Yeah.
Good for him.
Take care of him real good.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I thought you told Sambanji that you had been swallowed. Okay,
No.
so he's actually not
As impressed anymore.
that impressed anymore. The moonstone protected you. Okay, so he says we've become increasingly impressed with your capabilities and your will to stamp out chaos wherever it shows up.
Well, this is
I
what
think-
Ara wants me to do, so this is what I'm doing.
Indeed, this is what all of the gods want their true chosen to do. This is our real purpose. You'll be happy to know that no one will be following you anymore. This more than proves your willingness to work with us, especially this. And he holds up the bag that's got the tongue in it. He's like, we'll examine this and then dispose of it. We will do what we can for your friend Geary, but there are not many that come back from where he is right now. I just want to prepare you for the possibility that Gary is spending the last few days of his life right now. Did you know him before last night? Okay, so
Still, though, if you could, he won't be in a lot of pain, right? Can you take at least the pain away?
yeah, we're going to try to save him, but it's going to require that we purge parts of his body. So we don't like to keep secrets among our own in the Bedu Seekers, and if you're going to be one of us, you're going to need
Kind of like
to
instinctually, it's like, oh my god, but it's like
Yeah.
covered.
yeah. If you're going to be one of us, there's no reason for us to sugarcoat any of this stuff. Gary will never be the person he was before he went under that grave. But he may be strong enough to find a new life and maybe even a shred of happiness at some point. It won't be today, though. Okay.
Sounds great.
About that moment,
Good job, Gary.
Doing all right, man.
he says, I think you are improperly armed. If you wait here a moment, I will be right back. And he gets up and he doesn't wait for you to answer. He just goes. He goes out, closes the door. You're in the room for, maybe 2 or 3 minutes on your own. And then Sam Banji comes back and there's a woman behind him who you immediately recognize as Sarah Nash from the Watanga mining complex, the woman who was mining the moonstone.
Oh, yeah.
And she comes in, and she sees you. Thanks, WMT Dixon. I know who that is.
How do you know who that could that possibly be a relation?
No, all Dixons just know who they are.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
big
You
registry.
just know
There's
all
a big
the
Facebook
Dixons.
page.
It's just his ultra fan.
Yeah, my super old friend.
Yeah, fair.
Oh, gross. Save versus Poison is talking about turning Gary's arms into jelly and eat it on some toast. Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
while
Sounds good
Duchess
to me.
talks about eating a teriyaki bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, gross. Okay. So anyway, Sarah Nash comes in and she recognizes you as well.
Hi, Sarah.
And she says, "Oh, Kethra, right? You tried to rob me at one point, but then
We
saved
did
me."
not try to rob you.
But
We
then-
said we weren't.
Oh,
going to
that's
rob
all
you.
water under the bridge.
What?
It's because you did escort me safely back to Arragas.
Let you keep all your stuff.
Yes, and she looks at Sambanji. They let me keep all my stuff.
That's not what I meant. I meant.
Tut tut tut. It's water under the bridge. Anyway, Sambanji just kind of looks back and forth at the two of you and lets it play out, and then he says,
Several times.
Yeah, she shot me a whole bunch of times.
He says, yeah, she did shoot you because she thought you were trying to rob her.
That's been.
So he said, he says, I understand now that you know each other, but just so that we're all acquainted, Sarah Nash provides the Bedu Seekers with the majority of our moonstone. She is an integral part of what we do.
That makes sense.
And knowing now that you got her away from Watanga Mining Complex safely, we find ourselves indebted to you further. Sarah, this is Kethra Sogard. She is an ally to the Bedu Seekers and perhaps maybe one day an initiate.
If it's ours, will.
That's the right answer. Her moonstone has been used. Do you have any spares? And Sarah kind of squints at you for a second. She's like, yeah, I got some spares. She reaches into this bag and she pulls out a chunk of moonstone this big. Like,
It's way bigger than.
oh, way bigger. Like, it's 4 times bigger than the one that you currently have on you. And she says, she kind of looks at you and she says, where do I put this? And Sambonji's like, oh, yes. And then he reaches into his robe and he pulls out one of the medallions. And it's empty, right? And it's got this little sort of cage thing, right? And so she tries to put the big moonstone in there and she's like, all right. So she puts that away and she pulls out a smaller moonstone and puts it into the medallion and flips the little cage closed. And they hand it to you.
Man, I've got all kinds of bling. I got
Yeah.
this. I got a medallion. I've got a brooch.
So put down moonstone medallion. And we're going to, what I'll do is I'll just have you put like 3 uses, put parentheses 3 uses. There's a couple different ways that those uses will work, and I'll tell you what those ways are when the appropriate time comes. All right. Well, they tell you to keep up the good work, and if there isn't anything else, you should go. And,
How do I get back in here?
We will let the Imperial Guards know that you are allowed to pass the gate.
Okay, but
And
I have to
he
use
means
that gate.
the side gate. Yeah, he means you're not going to walk up the main. Yeah.
Kethra would need clarification.
Well, you don't want to draw unnecessary attention from
Yeah.
nobles and other guards and house people and the sort of servants and minor nobility.
Yeah.
We just use the side gate, and the guards there understand
Okay.
that we have official business and this is our headquarters, and so you may use that side gate. We'll make sure they know. All right, Sarah Nash shakes your hand. Goodbye, Kethra.
Yeah,
It's nice.
It's nice seeing you too. Can
Nice
I
seeing
let
you.
Makaria know you're around?
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know if you should tell them that we work with the Seekers. I mean,
Oh,
it may change. I mean, you can tell her I'm in town,
okay.
but don't tell any of your other thieving friends. Are any of them still? Have any of them turned away from thieving besides you and Makaria?
I was never for the thieving.
Yeah,
You-
Makaria is the one that
that's what
actually offered. Yeah.
Well, Vesper and Lilliana have, but that Erister.
Yeah. I had a feeling about him.
That Erister. He really was the ringleader in all of it.
I'm sorry.
Paladins.
It's the perfect cover.
Paladins and
Nobody,
their thieving
nobody
ways.
expects Paladin. Okay, so they.
It's all righteous seizure. For the good of the realm.
Yeah, I must take this. Yeah. Okay, so they basically escort you back up to the surface, and they let you.
As soon as I get
Move on
out
your
the
day.
gates,
Yeah.
Heather does a happy dance. Heather does a 16-year-old floss. When she
Duh. Flossing and Arragas, gross. Okay. All right. So you, you go on to the rest of your day, and you sort of rest, and you go touch base with your father, and you touch base with Abbot Eugene, and any of the other things that you need to do.
Yep.
Okay, and so everybody else is also just sort of taking care of general city things, and we move into the third Givney Day, of the Lover's Moon, which will be the second day of the vigil. And at this point, Lilliana has come forward and sort of gathered. You guys have all checked in at Scalebolg, and Lilliana has basically said something to the effect of, I know what was wrong with that carving. I need to go back out and verify who wants to come with me into Scalebolg.
I do.
Okay.
I'm definitely down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's all connected. We have to go back.
I'm
Thanks,
sold.
Lillian.
Let's do it.
I'm sold.
There we go.
But if something's connected, I want to be a part of it.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe I can talk to the lizard people. Maybe I
Oh, sorry. I just woke up from my trance. What did I say?
Yeah. Okay, so you guys head out into the swamp. You had something about locate object, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can just find you. Okay, so she'll be able to ritual locate object, and you guys are gonna just unerringly be able to go straight towards that big, huge carving, the stone that had flopped over, and the big, huge carving that she saw, which is at least a little ways into the night scale area of Scalebolg. These are the lizard folk that everyone is just super afraid of. You guys have not yet seen any night scales. You've only seen
Well, I've seen
the
them.
green
Yeah, they're right
lizard
there.
folk and the orange
They're
lizard
right
folk.
there.
These are not the night scales. These are the orange lizard folk.
I would also like
Because of
to make perception check on the way there and keep an eye out for little dwarven coins.
Oh, just like lying around in the mud.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
Can
good
I,
idea.
can I
Yeah. Anybody who wants to look for dwarven weird coins.
Nope.
Because my flaw
Man, I'm rolling
is
garbage.
to be a perfectionist. I'm going to cast Unseen Servant to give me a piggyback right again.
Okay.
To this
So
dirty,
you,
foul place.
I want you to know that you've gained a little weight, and so you're really taxing Unseen Servant to the max. Right? Like you can tell. Like you've never heard a magical servant pant before. But as you're running and trudging through, you hear this.
Weight is he
Was that
gained?
perception or
Yeah, what was your perception roll? For
22.
finding dwarven coins?
22?
22. What was your perception roll?
Natural 1.
All you can hear is panting, and you're just like, this is bull. I will punish you if you do not stop panting. Okay, what about you?
7. I'm
Okay.
laughing at Vesper.
And then what about you?
10, 11.
Okay, so nobody finds any
I'm in the-
loose dwarven coins lying around. However, you do find what do you find? You find the red rose. Roll a die for her. Just growing in the swamp. Good job. You're able to pull 4 red rose blooms off of the plant, off of the bush.
Nice.
So you can write that wherever you want.
Yeah, you didn't
So-
give me a spot.
You just, well, I know. The back is just a big, huge blank sheet with
Oh,
other
yeah.
stuff written on it. Whatever. So just put red rose times 4 or 4 times red rose. Okay.
Thank you, Sean, for all of the wonderful layouts that you have created.
Yeah, look,
Yes.
did all of this, and there's no spot for my
God. So you guys really are tired from that fight. You're all cranky. A bunch of cranky Gus's.
Well, man, I just got fat.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on here?
You know what?
It made me really hungry.
You suspect
Oh,
you suspect it's that stew from the copper kettle.
God.
So many fattenings. Okay. As you guys are traveling, you get out a couple hours away from the city, which is about on par. Like you guys remember, you traveled for most of an afternoon to get to the stonework, and everybody make a perception check. If you are an elf, make it with advantage.
Oh,
Thank God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Maybe you should switch dice.
I have switched dice 3 times now. This is all my
I'll
dice.
give you the one that was magic for you that is trash for me.
21.
18.
No,
Okay.
these are gonna work. I have 3 sets here. One of these has to start working.
Makaria?
22.
22. Oh, wow.
9 plus 5 is
14. 14. All right.
14.
Okay, so Kethra doesn't hear it, but the other 3 of you do. You hear a cry of anger and maybe mixed with agony, and then the clash of metal on metal, and you realize that somewhere up ahead there is a fight going on. Do you guys want to stealth your way up there or
Does
rush?
the angry grunting sound like lizard?
Nope,
creatures?
it sounds like a person.
Okay.
Oh,
Sounds
Then
like
yes.
a totally legit.
we will
real life
stealth.
person.
However,
Whatever you can add, Julie, would be great.
Pass without trace
D6
for free.
plus 4 at dawn. Oh, sorry, I didn't do that.
Yay!
Okay, that's for the first day. That's 4, 5, 6, 7. That's all of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are all back, except for one. Whenever I smack it on the ground and cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay.
I think. Oh wait, no, that's free, isn't it?
I think the first one is free, or maybe all of them are free.
Pass Without a Trace is free.
Where's that one?
It's right here. Pass without trace, 0 charges. Yep. So you can just cast it for free. You don't even have to smack it on the ground unless you want to. You're
Well,
the
I do
doyen.
think it is one per day. But...
You are the doyen of Holly Branch. You may do as you wish. Nobody can tell you what to do.
Well, I'm the regent.
Yeah, the regent to the doyen, which is basically the acting doyen. I mean, I don't know. You can introduce yourself however you like. All right. So everybody gets a plus 10, right? Pass without trace. Plus 10 to their stealth check. Duncan, why don't you pass your character around? Okay. We're going to put you right in the middle.
Oh, I forgot to get my character out.
Just, you guys aren't here yet. Just wait.
Well, you'll need me eventually.
You need me eventually, yeah.
I literally just said that.
Oh, it doesn't work with the metal ones. I can't scoot them.
I guess that'll be me.
God, I thought that broke for a second. Like there was a very
I'm not the one who got
specific
heavier here, alright?
Yeah.
The metal.
Kendra did get heavier because her husband has big feet. Crunch. So plus 10 to... Do I still roll at disadvantage, or is there something cool where I don't have to roll?
You roll a disadvantage, but you get a plus 10 to both rolls.
Okay.
So
Okay. That's just...
So I really want to report my roll. It's a 32.
okay.
Changing the
Gross.
mist.
And
Super
I don't have proficiency in stealth.
Nice.
Changing the mist form.
Yeah.
So you turn into a gangrel?
So you guys don't even notice Makaria.
I just cover the mouth with my unseen servant.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yes. Yes, there are.
Oh goodness.
Okay. You guys stealth up pretty easily
You're taking too long.
because most of the orange lizard men are focused on their quarry, which is an elf. He's fairly tall and really muscular. He is basically a fitter, slightly better looking Vesper version of Vesper.
Right.
He has the same skin color, same hair color, which I know on the figure it's pink and purple, but I believe Vesper is blue and purple, right? Aren't you blue skinned?
Blue skin, burgundy hair?
Burgundy hair, yeah, like a very rich purple, like a wine that's been aged to perfection.
Almost perfection. My
almost,
hair looks
right.
like the same.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel disgusted with my
Yeah.
fat body.
Okay. He is surrounded by orange lizard folk. There are 2 lizard folk that appear to be down. The rest of them are attacking and circling around him. He's using a very large curved sword. A couple of the lizard folk are wounded, but there are 5 unwounded lizard folk. So what we'll do is we'll start yes?
Do we know anything about the Orange Crush tribe of lizard folk?
The orange, you don't know what they call themselves, and you didn't ask the green lizard folk, and ironically, you didn't ask them what they call themselves either. The only ones you know that are named are the night scales. The rest of them you're just identifying by color because that's how you've seen them. These are the ones that attacked you guys with the Nikus. Do you remember the big dinosaur?
Oh, okay, so we haven't
mount?
seen them.
Oh yeah, you guys have fought
Fancy
and killed
mount.
these guys before. Yeah.
Okay.
These are the bad ones.
These are some of the bad ones. Yeah. One thing that is that may embolden you is the elf in the center is wearing a cloak that is made of orange lizard skin scales.
Okay.
So he's actually got a cloak of them on, which may also explain why they are attacking. Okay, so what we'll do is you guys all stealth very readily. Oh wait, what was your?
I got a 27.
Okay.
Even at my disadvantage.
Okay, good, yeah. Okay, so
I was letting
What we'll
you
do
guys all get +10. So
is we'll have everybody set up on any square on that edge of the map. So on the far edge of the map, you guys are moving into position. There are several rocky outcroppings. Despite the fact that they are rocky, they are covered in sludge and moss, and so they look very slippery. And you're not entirely sure that you would be able to get on a top of one very easily.
I'll go.
Oh,
We'll
right.
do one square part. I'll go right there.
Okay, good. So you guys are setting up a dragnet.
It's a V. We're gonna go in and
I just
Yeah,
want to be the
why
closest
me?
to the most.
That's
in.
right.
Okay, so Liliana, what about you?
Put me next to Macaria.
Okay,
This side, that side.
That's it.
to the right of Macaria. All right. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll roll some initiatives, and then we'll get this party started.
All right.
I will say that let me change.
Rolled all over the place.
Or okay, never mind.
Okay, so the purple dice have started working.
Yay!
Yay! But now that I've said it out loud.
I need the whole orange lizard folk attire. I need the suit.
Yeah, you need
Yeah.
the matching
Yeah.
boots and the gloves and the helmet. Yeah.
The belt would be pretty cool.
Apparently,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
quite
That's
constrictive with that initiative.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not. It's not a breathable
Maybe-
fabric.
I rolled really good.
He literally
Okay.
just attacked.
So,
when we got here.
Catherine, what
Yeah.
did you roll on your initiative?
I got a 19.
Technically,
19.
he's at the top
Liliana?
of the other
19.
initiative.
Okay, I need the two of you to roll a die 6.
Do we have the same decks?
Yep, you have the same
Here we
dex
are.
and same intelligence.
Oh,
So amazingly enough.
but I'm a little more wise.
Oh, you've got it, Julie. I rolled a 1.
4.
Okay, so we'll just make this 20. Okay, Macaria.
12.
Okay, and then Vesper.
20.
Okay, and then Virsel.
4.
Awesome.
Well, you've already been fighting these
You
guys.
made
Yeah,
it.
you're
Yeah,
all
I just
Yeah.
swung, so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you know,
You already got
I'm
your
at the
2
bottom.
good hits.
Technically,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
Okay, so
Exactly.
everybody, with the exception of Virsel, who will automatically know this, roll another perception check.
Do I roll with advantage?
No,
I am
this
not
is just
perceiving
to
anything
notice. Yeah,
tonight.
this is just
I
to
know.
notice something
I
about
know.
the lizard
Perception
folk.
is not my thing tonight.
I think I'm just really excited
20.
about getting initiated into fighting Seeger. So
20.
like,
Okay, good job.
It's on your mind or
yeah,
not.
I'm totally
Nine.
ADHD.
Four?
and all
No,
that.
no. What about you, Kethra?
I got a 9.
Okay, so you already know this, Versal. You can spot the lizard folk brute. Remember the really big one that was riding Anikas before, and he was a lot stronger, and he kept leaping everywhere and like smashing people with his weapon. This guy here is one of those bigger, more muscular, and he is not attacking yet. He seems to be hanging back and letting the other lizard folk weaken the elf in the center. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so Vesper, you are first. What are you going to do?
Mock the brute.
Peas and carrots. Oh, wait, it's this, right?
That's
Yeah.
Carrots.
sassafras.
Sassafras.
That'll be the new one. Alright, yeah, he's in the middle.
You don't know where the brute is.
Oh.
Lilliana is the only one who can discern him from the rest. And Versal knows because he's been fighting these guys basically for 15 minutes now or whatever.
Well, and he's apparently
And
a
also-
Nikus or
Okay,
I'll
lizard slaughtering expert.
Yeah. No one is wearing it. No one is riding a Nikus. You guys don't see any Nikus mounts anywhere. Here.
Yeah, just
Am I already in a rage?
You can be if you want.
Okay,
It's
I think
up
I would
to you.
already be
Okay.
enraged.
Surely.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll do Dissonant Whispers on the one in front of him. Let's say,
Okay.
let's see, Wisdom save.
Okay. That's not going to be good. Here goes. Okay, what happens?
Let's see, I'll do 3d6 psych. Let's see, 13, and he will have to move. Immediately uses reaction to move as far as its speed allows away from me.
Away from you.
Yes.
So you did 13 damage to him.
Yeah, and he
What an asshole.
should trigger attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll trigger an attack of opportunity. Okay. So he's going to begin moving away. I'll start right there, and as soon as he leaves this square, you may use your reaction if you wish to swing at him.
I will.
On his way
It's
out.
not great. It's 14.
14 is a hit.
Nice. All right. Let's see. I like you, and I like you. Let's see what you do. That is 8 damage.
8 damage. All right, so you whisper magical sassafras. It shoots out of your mouth. Nobody else hears it. He hears it, turns to you. His lizard eyes go wide. He shrieks and starts to run away. And as he turns to leave, the elf in the middle takes his big curved sword and just cuts him square down the back and splits him in two. And he drops into the mud and dies.
Excellent.
Okay, so that'll make it Lilliana Hollywisp's turn. Oh, by the way, as a free action, the brute looks at you and he's like,
And I just look at him and laugh.
yeah. Oh, that was your brother.
okay. Well, you look like you need help. Okay.
Oh, and as a bonus reaction, as a bonus action, I'll give him some bardic inspiration.
The elf in the middle.
Yeah.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Great job. There we go. Right. Is
You say it in Elvish.
Thank you.
Ooshi booshi. That's Elvish for great job. What's good job? Bunga bunga.
Oosh.
Oosh. Yeah, oosh. Oosh. All right, so Liliana.
I am going to grip the staff and be like, well, never a better time to try this out.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank you.
Oh, you put back my lovely rainbow sheep.
Of course I do.
Rainbow sheep.
But I never took it down.
Yeah, there was like a zombie
There
or
was
something.
a zombie or something last time.
Oh, was there?
Yeah,
Huh.
there was.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
That's weird.
60 feet long,
Okay.
starting right here.
Uh-huh.
A giant wall of thorns
Okay.
is going to go all the way through these guys, over to here,
Oh, goodness.
and over to here. So it's
Nice.
going to go straight through these guys and then over to these guys.
Okay.
That's 60 feet.
So you get 10 of those, 10 squares basically. Or no, 60 is 12.
60, so 12 squares
Yeah.
worth. I'm going to angle it to where I try to get as many as I can.
Nice.
So basically from here to here to here. That's 60 feet. I'm like real nervous and about to crap my pants about it because I'm using the big old shillelagh. So
Okay, so we're starting right here with this lizard folk that is closest to you, right? And you're just going to shoot a wall of thorns straight out. And when you get to this lizard folk that's far away, then you're going to hook it back and try to catch the dude in the back.
I was
doing
going to
it
do it
this
from
way.
here to here
Okay.
and then from there to there.
So catching all.
Yeah, like in between these two
Seven?
guys, down to here and then over to here.
Five.
So that's like
Like barely
5,
missing.
10,
Oh, I thought it-
15, 20, 25, 30,
Uh-huh.
35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60.
Okay, yeah. So
Does that make sense?
It starts here.
Yeah, I don't know if that guy's dead. I don't care about him. I'm just
Yeah,
talking
it
about
starts
in
here
between
and
those
shoots out
tiers.
this way and then
Mhm.
comes back this way. Right, like
Yeah.
a big check mark.
Yeah, like a
Okay.
big check mark.
All right, so
It is.
do you have to bang your staff on the ground to do this one too?
I
I
kind
don't-
of always do that
Okay, yeah.
as a
It is this
safe.
way though.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, it hits him and then goes back that way.
Okay.
It is 60 feet long, 10 feet high, 5 foot thick.
Mhm.
And each creature must make a dexterity
Okay.
save.
We'll start with the guy in the back.
D8.
15, 17. Okay, so he'll make it. What's your DC? 14?
Oh, sorry,
Yes.
got lots of papers. 14, yes.
Okay, alright. So the second guy doesn't make it. The guy on the ground doesn't make it. He just gets all thorny. The guy in the corner makes it. The guy right after the corner makes it. Of course he makes it because he's the brute. And then the other guy does not make it. Okay. So the two, this guy here and this guy here don't make it. Everyone else makes their save. So what is the total damage?
I'm rolling it now.
Okay.
So that's 16 plus.
Snow lizards.
Well, they're
27.
not WYSIWYG. They're all round, even though they're not painted, fully painted.
They're albino.
That is 35 damage, half.
Oh my god! Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say?
35 damage.
No, that's bullshit. Okay. All right. So these two guys die flat out. Like they just get caught in thorns.
You
The
gave
wall
me the
explodes
staff.
up through them. A bunch of blood sprays out. They cry out in agony. Ah! Their weapons clatter into the. Well, they don't clatter to the ground. They splash into the mud. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. While you're out here, -2 movement, and you can't dash. Remember, because the mud and the water is like knee deep, basically. So there's not a lot of running going on.
I
through
mean, I
here.
didn't remember that, but okay.
Okay, and then you did 35, which would be 18 to everyone else that made it.
Uh-huh.
That's bullcrap. All right.
Cuthbert's like, whoa,
Yeah.
Gave me his
yeah.
staff.
Right.
Oh my.
All right, so that
Gave me
guy
a staff that lets me
gets
cast
hurt.
a level
This guy
6
gets hurt.
spell.
That guy's dead. That guy's dead. That guy on the ground was already dead. And then, so 18. So then that 20. Okay, so
Julie, the player, is going hee hee hee. But Lilliana is a little bit super like, whoa, that was crazy.
what happens as far as people moving through the wall or around the wall? Do they take damage from being too close to it, or do they have to actually try to pass through it to get hurt?
Locks line of sight.
Uh-huh.
Blah, blah, blah.
That is to begin or end turn.
When it appears a creature within it must make a dex save.
Yeah, they already did that.
Pliable, tangled brush, bristling with fatal sharp thorns. I don't know.
What page is it?
Okay, so
Literally does not say.
well, we'll just
Unless
assume
they-
that unless they try to
What is it?
pass
287.
through it or
Okay.
otherwise start their turn. So these guys are probably going to get damaged again because they haven't gone yet. But then once they get clear of the wall, as long as they move around it or whatever, they probably won't take too much damage. Okay. Now's the perfect time to look that up because
It says a creature can move through the wall, albeit slowly and painfully. For every foot a creature moves through the wall, it must spend 4 feet of movement. Furthermore, the first time it enters or on a turn or ends its turn there,
ends its turn.
it
Okay.
makes the dex saving throw and takes 78 slashing on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one.
How many charges was that? 9? 10 charges?
It was a lot.
Okay, good. All right.
I can't use it more than once.
Okay, so we'll stop here. We're going to take our 10-minute break. I know that sort of snuck up on us, but we're in the middle of an exciting battle, so of course. We're going to take a 10-minute break. It's 8:54 now. So let's have everybody return at 9:04. And in the meantime, I will fix the map a little bit and chat with people in the chat and do everything. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time, we'd like to take a little 10-minute intercession so that you can get up and stretch your legs and refill your drinks and get your popcorns and whatever else. Take care of all of your biometric necessities. And then we will return very shortly and continue this battle. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it's
gracious.
exciting on
That
this
was-
side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild.
That was...
Oh.
that I wasn't ready for that at all.
If the situation was reversed, we'd be crying foul so
Yeah.
fast. Like,
Well, you know.
Blizzard just showed up and made one of us run into the end of a dagger and then
Here's the thing.
burst forth.
When I do finally catch you guys in some sort of wall of thorns, it won't be a surprise because you'll be like, yeah, that's pretty much how it worked when we did it. That's pretty
Oh
much
yeah, that's how that
how
works.
it went. Yeah. Okay. So the wall is going to last. I don't know how long it lasts, but I'm sure she gets to basically concentrate on it and keep it
let me
going.
see.
Keep it going full swing.
I tabbed out the book here so I can do it quick.
Okay. Okay. So a wall of thorns is going to shoot right in front, just right, and you're like, oh, cool. And in the back of your mind, there's a little druid.
Yeah.
Concentration up to 10 minutes.
Okay, so as long as she doesn't cast any other concentration spells, she can keep that wall right there. Yeah, that just changed the entire fight. I thought for sure you guys would be.
We usually suck against mobs. Like, we're good against one-off people like Neck Zipper dude and the Mudman from the cave.
Oh yeah, the Mudman. Yeah, I forgot about him.
But, yeah, like a little group of goblins just tears us apart.
Yeah. Dusty, in answer to your question, we don't call him Old Ben. He's not Old Ben. He's not even remotely close to Old Ben. So Ben is actually, I believe he's at home or he's somewhere watching us. He's in the chat right now. He's keeping us on point. As far as Erister goes, I explained this at the beginning of the show. Erister is so busy with his duties to the Order of the Shield and also, to a lesser extent, Millipole as a retired veteran for the Vigil that his character was not able to trudge out into the swamps for a whole day. There wasn't going to be any way for him to get out here. So in the real world, it gave us the opportunity to put Duncan into a seat. And Duncan is one of the creators, right? Are you?
Yeah. I'm
Cameron.
I'd call myself the creator.
The
personally.
creator. Okay, the creator of Tales and Ales, which is an excellent podcast that comes out of Texas, where they play Dungeons and Dragons, and then they give their expert amateur opinions on various lagers and pilsners and all kinds of beers. Do you guys do anything other than beer?
Right now it's just beer.
Okay.
We've been thinking about like going out into other stuff, but haven't yet.
Yeah, but it's very entertaining podcast, just from the D&D perspective. And then if you are a beer drinker, which I am not, but I have several friends who are, they will very often grab sort of like local brews, and it's not like they talk about Budweiser or Coors or something. I mean they go to local breweries and they try to get these microbreweries and a bunch of labels that you wouldn't necessarily find at a Walmart, and they give them a try, and then they let you know how they are so that you can decide whether or not you want to spend your money's on them. So
Yeah, as of yet, it's just local Austin beers. But we've been like talking about trying to find other craft breweries from outside. I've been thinking of checking out what was it, Coop?
yeah.
I was thinking of checking out Coupon here in town. But yeah.
We could probably manage that here in the next day or so.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and so while we're talking about it, though, shout out to... Oh, man, this cough is killing me. shout out to Duchess LOL, who's in the chat right now, and she is our sister, our Twitch sister, or our Twister, as we like to call her, not to her face.
Twitched sister.
Twitched sister. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, she's she gave us, when I was first putting this show together, she gave me a lot of invaluable advice about what to do and how to sort of make my show cool and how to set my cameras up and a few other things. And not that I'm bragging on our current production value, but it could be way worse. And it's not because of Duchess LOL. And she has a channel on Twitch, so if you like what we do here, you should definitely check her out too. She plays a lot of video games and has a lot of great content, and she's very funny, and she chats with people while she's running around. Most of the stuff that I've seen has been first-person shooters, so there's a lot of headshots that go on while she's talking, and a few other things. But and then of course we've got Beard and Brush back in the chat. You guys remember him from a couple episodes ago. He showed up for one of the Bearded Foe chats, and we did a painting episode. So he's in the chat. It's good to see you. Good to see you, buddy. And then, he does just amazing custom fig work. So if you're in the Oklahoma area and you're looking to get some just outstanding minis painted, check out Beard and Brush on Facebook. He is available and very much capable of creating just absolutely magical figurines for your game or your mantle if you're into. If you got some commemorative figures from your favorite character from your first D&D game, stuff like that. He's really, really good. Yeah.
So have we also discussed what we're doing for our off week?
I was going to bring that up. Yeah, I was going to bring that up. So last but not least, I want to shout out to Luton XP, the Game Hub of Norman. My very good friends there at Luton XP provide an awesome place for you to play games, and we love all of them very much. And the primary partner DC and his significant other Jenna have both been instrumental in keeping me focused and motivated on my current career path. Without the two of them, I don't think I would be as cocky or as arrogant about what it is I do. But seriously, they're great people, and they've been very influential to me. So I just want to give a good shout out. And if you're in the OKC metro, head to Norman, go to Luton XP, check out their 650 or 700 board games. I don't remember how many they have now. And you can play them all day long for a low price. You can come and go. They have very comfortable seating and lots of space. And the thing that I like the most about Luton XP is all of their employees know how to play all of the games. So even if you've never touched the game before, someone that's working there can show you how to play so that you don't have to read a 35-page rule book if you're looking to play one of the complex games. Okay, so what our lovely Taylor was bringing up is that... remember earlier when I made the joke about Texas Outreach, it turns out it's more of an exchange program than an outreach program. So next week will be our regular Arragas City of Dreams. It'll be the third episode in our cycle. And then for the off week, where we would normally have the Bearded Foe chat, in actuality, Taylor and I will be going down to Texas, and we will be appearing on Tales and Ales as a crossover one-shot adventure. I will run a space game for them, and we will podcast it and broadcast it on Twitch. So you'll get to see our Texas friends down at Tales and Ales, and they'll get to experience firsthand what it is to be DM'd by the Bearded Foe. I promise to bring my soft gloves.
Yeah, right.
to Texas.
Well, I don't know, based on what Julie just did to your monsters, I mean,
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have a
Burn.
Oh, and by the way, totally unrelated, you have an adorable tiny little lizard on your porch.
I do.
Oh.
you do. Yeah,
Is
do you
it
wanna
green or
see it?
orange?
It's green and black.
Yes, it's a green lizard folk. Amanda, were you able to trade with it?
Still want to kill it.
Oh my gosh, that's adorable. We should
So
capture
cute.
him, and I should train him to eat figures. Then I can just let him go, and you guys are like, no, don't roll any dice. We'll just see what happens.
Ben will just ride it.
Yeah,
Well, what happens? It's big on it.
I know,
He
right?
wants me to-
That would be
he
awesome.
wants me
Tack
to
on
bring it
executive
home
producer.
For the cat.
Yeah.
He's like, come
Preach it.
go home
Oh,
for the
God.
kitties. And I'm like, no, kitties.
We may, in fact, sample the ales while telling the tales.
That's true.
That could very easily be
Bappy.
part of that.
I will not be sampling the ales. I will see if the Pepsi or the Diet Mountain Dew is as good in Texas as it is in Oklahoma.
Oh,
Yeah. But we will probably have lots of visuals of people drinking, so you guys can drink along. That would be fun.
Yeah. Well, Tails and Ales can tweet out what we'll be drinking, and you can maybe pick up what they'll be drinking, and then try it along with us.
Oh, gross. Save versus poison. Gross. Okay.
What did he say?
All right. So we are back. We are back. That's a throwback from your guys' game in space. Remember? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I remember the venereal disease.
All right, so a wall of thorns has just exploded through the center of the fight, disintegrating 2 lizard men and severely injuring all the rest that were caught in the blast. Kethra Sogard.
Oh, wait. I breathe really hard
Uh-huh.
and go, holy crap.
Uh-huh.
And then I look at other elf guy. You alright over there? And I cast Healing Word
Oh,
as a bonus
a
action.
healing word. The elven spellcaster has cast healing magics upon you. Versal, this does not line up with your previous life experience.
Yeah,
And not
no.
even in 2 ways. So are you gonna do it as a first level or second level?
Oh,
Yeah, don't you appreciate all this help you're getting?
I mean, I could have handled them on
Use
my
in
own.
order
Yeah.
or something. I don't know.
just the first level, but,
I can make you a cake.
Make him a
Ooh, good
cake,
job. Die for a plus
or
one,
make
so-
him a
so it'll
cake.
be
I-
8.
Whichever you would prefer. Whichever you would
Those
backing
are
up.
different.
I actually
This is cool.
I heard
I'm
cake,
good.
and I thought it was a fat reference.
Gross. All right, let's focus back on dead lizard folk. Let's get away from that conversation until a
It
little
does sound
later.
delicious.
I missed that because I was rolling 8 hit points for
Yeah.
you.
All right, Versal, you regain 8 hit points. You feel a soothing wave of energy splash in your face like a crisp pond.
You okay? Hope that was helpful.
Okay,
What's your game, lady?
there you go. All right, Kethra.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Spiritual Weapon.
Okay, excellent. I'll give you. Why don't you use the dwarf coin as a spiritual
Yeah,
weapon?
fancy.
Where are you gonna put it?
I'm gonna put it by the guy that's behind him.
Okay. So a electrified what? Mace? Bow? What is it?
Yeah, it looks like Thor's hammer.
Okay, so a Mjolnir appears. Everyone, well, all of the humans immediately recognize it as being Ara's hammer. She carries a hammer and or a bow.
It's a
One shoots lightning.
Big
the other
ol'
one's thunder.
hammer.
All right,
Big old
yeah.
hammer.
All right, and I believe you get an immediate attack roll as soon as it comes into
I do.
being, right? Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna.
It's your spell attack. It'll be your spell attack modifier.
So 5.
Yep.
No,
Dice
I
roll plus
don't roll
five.
dice. Or do roll dice.
Yeah, it's actually going to try to hit it's legitimately
Right, I
attacking.
understand.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got a dirty 20.
Okay, excellent.
No,
That's total.
21. I lied.
Okay.
Math.
Well, that's the most dirty 20 you can get. 21.
Not a
Yeah. So, I mean, it's real dirty at that point.
Super dirty.
Okay, so then I believe the weapon damage on the spell is
I don't know.
2
Did I just come
die.
back from a break? You think
I don't
would've read
know.
this?
Well, it's your spell.
before I forget. Rather
Plus
than a
my
cape, I want
yeah. So it's
an
one.
orange lizard man luchador mask. That would be
Gross.
I can see what I can do.
okay.
That's
Yeah.
really gross.
So at 9.
9. Oh, good job. All right. So you hammer this guy. You hammer this guy right in the head with just a big electric hammer.
And I'm gonna move
But just he shoots
towards
across
him.
his body, and you're gonna move towards him. How many spaces?
However many I can move.
Okay, Makaria, I believe in you. Move her 6 spaces closer to the lizard folk, the orange one that she just hit with the hammer. Yep. I'm sorry, not 6, 4. Because everyone's movement is.
Yeah, or
And try to step on the dead
Dead
body,
or-
like.
Yeah, the ones that are currently laying on the ground are either dead or unconscious in such a way that they are completely immobilized.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so that was Kethra's turn. That makes it my regular lizard folk. Okay, so this guy is going to step out of the
Good call. Yeah.
the huge wall of pain.
How are we
And
gonna
he-
call
Hold on.
that?
I think he has to roll for that.
Is that an attack of opportunity?
Well, I think if you start your turn there.
No, it's if you end your
End
turn.
your-
It's
Oh,
if you
okay.
end your turn.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you said that, and I was like, oh, okay, it's
End your
it's
turn
Gotcha,
or
gotcha.
move through it.
Right, through
If
it.
they're in it, we'll say they can step out of it. That's fine.
Yeah. Thanks. All right, so
I was gonna say
Well,
they're kind of
he's-
inside of it, and it does
1,
say
2,
for each foot they go through it.
3.
5 feet thick, but no.
and we'll move him to right here
You should have never given her
so that
a
he
title.
can attack
All gone.
his prey.
That's my thought attack.
Okay. All right. So he is going to try to hit you. It looks to me like he's got a great big old knobby sort of stone and bone mace. It'll act like a saw, right, when he drags it through your skin. Assuming that he can. Okay, he is going to miss you with his first attack. And miss you with both attacks. So you're basically ready for it because he comes running up and he's bleeding and limping and he's picking thorns out of the side of his body. Okay, so the other guy is going to move around. Kethra, what I want you to do, I know the spell doesn't normally allow it, but what I want you to do is make a wisdom saving throw.
I guess for everybody who can't see the map, we basically came into a clearing where a guy was surrounded and there's
Yeah,
a fair amount of dead bodies around.
well, there are now. Yeah, there's.
This time, this is right, and I really did get a dirty 20.
Okay, great. So I'm going to allow your Hammer of Ara to get an attack of opportunity because the lizard guy is moving through its space. So it's going to try to hammer on him as it comes
5.
through. Armor class 5?
Oh, no, that was the damage.
That's okay, cool. So,
So what's
yeah. Here's hoping you hit.
12 plus.
Plus 5 is
5,
17.
17.
Yep. All right. So you hit him for 5. All right. So you almost kill him.
Oh wait, no, were these his or?
No, the other 2 are the dude that
okay.
ran around. This is his. Okay, so he's almost dead, but he is also going to try to finish off his elven quarry with his staff thing.
Or the troll?
He does hit you. Take 7.
I have resistance.
Yeah, it's just 7. It'll be bludgeoning, so just
3.
have that. Yeah. And then he hits you again for 6, so take another 3. Okay. And then this guy at the end of the wall is going to turn around, and we're just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see what happens here. 1, 2. All right. So he's coming after Lilliana. He leaves the wall and runs up and
Makes
attempts
sense. Giant thorn.
to poke her with his. It looks like he's also got one of the clubs with the serrated bone and stone edges. Armor class. Okay, so he's going to hit you for 7 with his first attack, and he is going to hit you for 10 with his second attack. And that is it for the regular lizard folk. Okay, so the wall has taking out most of the lizard folk. 2 of the orange lizard folk have now surrounded the stranger, and one of them has made a beeline directly for Lilliana and is attempting to strike her. Lilliana, make a concentration check for me.
Oh, that's not good. 5 plus 2.
7. Okay, you lose concentration on the Wall of Thorns.
Okay.
So after he stabs you a couple times or cuts
Wait a
you a couple
second.
times,
But I didn't cast the Wall of Thorns.
yeah, you don't need to do the.
The staff cast it.
I know, but you still need to concentrate on it to maintain it. You just don't have to pay any of the costs, and it doesn't cost you a slot.
Okay.
The charges of the staff take care of all of that, but you still have to concentrate on it to keep
Okay.
it going. Okay, so Lilliana gets hacked into a couple of times, and the Wall of Thorns just collapses into the swamp water, splashing everybody and leaving behind several mutilated lizard bodies.
Rude. Just
yeah.
put that there.
Yeah, I just put that there. Thanks a lot. Okay, so that was the regular lizard folk. So, Makaria?
All right. I guess I'm gonna stab at that guy that's right in front of me.
Sure, that makes sense. I need to make you some Wall of Thorns tokens now. I didn't realize it was 12.
Just go find some twigs outside.
Yeah.
It's different
It's
if
a
you
10.
cast it in a circle.
10 is a miss. I'll just make you a big token.
And I'm probably
Yeah, if it's in a circle, it's like
just gonna scoot around a little bit so I can be
Okay.
a little closer to the action.
Okay.
After you quickly dispense of this one, we want to turn around towards the festival.
Yeah,
Well,
and I
she's
really
still-
thought that I was already going to quickly dispense of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you should try to roll the damage first like Kethra does.
Yeah, that worked out for me.
That sort of sets the tone for the rest of the dice. Okay, so that was Makaria's turn. Man, I hate this cough. All right, so now the brute gets to go. All right, so the brute is going to fly up out of the ground with a mighty leap and land directly in front of the stranger, bringing his big spear down as hard as he can onto Versal, the stranger. You guys don't know his name yet. I'm saying Versal. Okay, I hit you, Versal. All right, so it's going to be this plus these, plus I get a reroll. 19. Take 21.
Is that before?
That's before. Yeah, I'm just going to give you the bald numbers.
Gotcha.
So you reduce it as you need to. So he basically comes down as hard as he can, basically drives the spear through you, and then he pulls it out and attacks you a second time. This time it'll just be a regular attack. He does hit you, so he doesn't get the 11. Take another 13. Okay. So that was my turn. So then that makes it Virsal's turn. Your
All
response?
He's
I'm-
bloodied. That's something we do.
Not quite.
Aren't you?
No. One more hit point and I'm half.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, just kidding.
Right now he's still flexing enough that the blood just keeps sucking back up into his
Yeah,
body.
yeah.
I'm exactly bloody too, so.
Okay.
that's
I'm
16.
gonna swing at him twice.
Okay. When you say him, do you mean the brute?
brute,
Or-
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, that's a 9, so that's not gonna hit.
All right. Yeah, he dodges out of the way.
You got inspiration too.
Oh, let's see. I don't think that's gonna hit, even with the bardic inspiration.
you'd have to.
Ooh, that's a 24.
24 is definitely a hit.
All right.
Is there anything special going on with your sword right now that people would be able to visually verify? I'm just asking.
I don't believe so. I think.
Oh
it's
wait.
only-
Oh, you didn't pick that sword.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Others.
Okay. All right.
So I forgot about my rage damage last time.
Yeah.
But that's 11 damage.
And what would? And is that with your rage damage last time? Or?
Last time it wasn't, but this is with my rage damage.
Okay. So 11 damage.
They were already dead.
Last time it was like
He had
you're
All right, so you slash him pretty thoroughly right through the chest, and his rippling lizard muscles mirror your rippling elf muscles, and the two of you get into a bit of a pop off.
Where's Ben when you need him? Ben,
I know
can
where's
do
Ben?
that.
Ben can actually do it. Ben could. I'm doing it. You just can't see because of the beard.
Uh-huh.
Thanks,
I don't
Amanda.
believe
Plus
that.
10,000 XP. Okay, so Beersel, are you choosing to move at all?
No.
Okay, so that brings us back around to the top of the initiative. Vesper Preslin.
All right, I'm gonna cast Shatter on
Him.
these two.
Okay,
Get a nice
Kaboom.
little circle with the two that are closest.
sure.
to
Kablamo.
Veersel. That's a con save.
What is the radius on that? Because you might
It's a
actually catch
10.
Macaria. Oh, 10? Okay, no, yeah. Macaria's outside of the blast. Okay. And I forget, is Shatter the one that everyone can hear, or just the people inside can hear?
Oh yeah, it's
Huge boom.
it's like a 300-foot.
Okay, Sonic Boom.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to roll, what kind of saves?
Con save.
Constitution? Okay, well, the Brute might make that, but I don't think... Oop. The Brute does not make it. Nice. He doesn't make it. Okay, nobody makes it.
That's 18 damage. And
Okay, so the one closest to you will die. His head explodes, a bunch of blood sprays out everywhere. And then the Brute is going to take, you said 18?
Yep.
Oh, the Brute also dies. Okay, good job.
So does the guy behind him.
No,
Wait, no.
he's outside.
No.
He's outside.
He
the
was
blast.
outside the
ha
All right, so
I was still
two
stuck
more
on his
lizard folk
chest
just
and
basically splay out into the sky and hit the mud and splash everywhere, and they do not rise again. Did you want to move?
I think I'm good for now.
Okay. That makes it Liliana's turn.
Is it my turn?
It is. You go on 20.2, Vesper's on 20.3, so he goes slightly before you. Because he's slightly more dextrose.
I did not think we were back to the beginning yet.
Sure.
How's that
Well-
for a fat boy?
There are two targets left, the one by the stranger and the one directly in front of you who's trying to
Well,
saw your limbs off one by
Pretty
one.
sure I'm gonna hit the one that just took half my life.
Sure.
So, yeah, I'm gonna cast Shillelagh and smack him in the face.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use this dice.
Bad. Stop it.
Stop.
I'm leaving you.
Tap him on the
A
nose.
fumble! Let's roll a die 8.
Oh no!
Oof. This is what I live for, folks. If you are at home, you are witnessing the birth. Somewhere a dragon has just earned its wings.
Sean,
Roll a die 8.
if you make me
Break.
break the staff
Just don't roll a 1.
because of your stupid chart,
Just don't roll a 1.
8.
You just look a bit foolish. And your turn immediately ends, but yeah. So
That
you're
was
like,
horrifying.
Vesper shrugs. He kind of
So
expected
Orthodox
something.
just gave this to me like yesterday, but
I'm still working out how to use this, okay?
yeah, you go to spin it around, but you forget that you're in knee-deep water, so when it hits the water, it just kind of sprays us with some water.
Oh,
and you
man.
have to catch it. Okay,
It's
so,
still
Kethra?
Shillelagh, so I don't have to cast that again.
I'm
Next
gonna
Yeah.
hit the dude with my hammer again.
Okay, yeah, as a bonus action.
And then I'm gonna move closer and I'm gonna hit him.
Okay, great.
With my
That's
actual
a-
hammer.
Does the spiritual weapon count for my pack tactics type thing? For my wolf?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
So both of those attacks are with advantage.
That's, yeah,
Sweet.
since they're clearly friendly to you, they are fighting your enemies, so yes.
I thought only you would get that, right?
No, it's any like allies who
He actually
attack
doesn't
someone
get
who's
it.
next to me.
it's only the
Yeah.
Oh,
friends.
you grant it to everybody else.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, it's one of the benefits of being a barbarian. If
Well,
you're
maybe
a wolf
not to
totem,
me.
if you're a wolf totem barbarian, yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's a really good. It's a very teamwork.
Aha!
oriented
Critical
power.
20!
Yeah. Oh, wait, what? On your attack roll?
Yeah.
And just the first
No, she's not your ally.
I got
What'd you roll
advantage.
first?
The first time I rolled a 17, and then I rolled a 20. So they both would have hit. It's just the 20 I get to double my damage.
I'm still getting beat up over here. It's okay.
I'm coming. I don't see that. I'm over there. You're all the way over there.
Oh no. know. I'm just trying to make
Also,
Sean
I need
feel
to stab
better.
something.
Yeah, I need to feel like I'm contributing something to
So
the
I get
story
to
by killing all
roll
my players
twice,
on them.
right? Okay.
Only on the attack roll. The
Oh,
damage, you
well,
know, the
but
damage
you
you
got a
roll twice
critical
and add it all
20.
together. Yeah.
I thought it was because I got a critical 20. I
Yeah.
got to double.
Yeah.
the
You get to
attack.
double all the
Double the
dice
Yeah,
for the
that's what I
damage.
meant. That's
Okay,
what
yeah.
I was
2
asking.
times.
I'm sorry. I thought you were rolling the damage twice and trying to decide which one to take. You need to just add it all together.
So 10 plus, because first time I rolled a 1. 10 plus 3. So 13.
Okay.
Bye.
Yeah. So your spiritual hammer,
I didn't even have to hit him with that.
smashes through his skull and basically, you hear his just all of his vertebrae just in order just crack right down the line, and his body turns into rubber, and he just falls. He kind of leans on you for a second, and and you just shove him off into the mud. Okay, so Kethra, since that was your bonus action, do you want to start your move? Do you want to move in a different direction from where you started, or did you still want to close over and just hit the body?
No, I'm not. Why would I hit the?
I don't know.
I'm not evil. I'm gonna move back
If
over.
you killed that one, I will be so mad.
Okay.
Where was
Did
she?
you say that?
Okay, so 4 spaces back. So basically right next to the rock.
Right
I
No,
didn't
this other
kill-
rock.
I just knocked her
Yeah.
unconscious.
Okay, so now she gets 4. She gets a movement of 4,
2, 3, 4.
and now you may hit
Okay.
that lizard
You
folk if you choose.
Not.
I'm gonna hit it. I'm not gonna hit
Makaria.
it, Makaria.
Yeah, I am looking.
Makaria reaches into her pocket and pulls out a little yellow streamer, which she throws in front of your eyes. Caution! Caution!
I am looking a little rough, Kefra.
Hold on, let's see.
I'll get to
Kefra
hit it
notices.
before, but that's the point.
Oh,
I
let me
have to
see
hit
if
it.
Catherine notices. I'm so enamored by how all these hammers
Yeah,
are
I'm
working.
really
not-
excited.
I
I'm
don't
also
care.
16. No, I was gonna do 3 to 6, and I noticed. I rolled a 1,
Okay.
so I distinctly
It's
did
cool.
not.
It's cool. It's cool.
I did the opposite of notice.
I
I'm
did
real
the
cool because
opposite of notice.
I just made a giant nasty thorn wall, so you're like, she's fine.
You're fine. Yeah. I also have spare the dying. Can I?
Yeah, you're fine. You won't die.
Yeah, if you die, I'll do it then.
I'll just
Whatever.
get a bit. So I'm gonna hit it. Now
Okay.
I can't move my hammer anymore, right? This is my other question.
Your
My hammer
your
is
bonus
dead.
action is you can move it and attack.
So
So
my
as
hammer
part
stays
of the
there.
whole action, you can move it to a new person and attack. If you don't have to move to attack, it just stays where it is and attacks.
I got another 20.
No!
Purple dice are good. Purple dice are good.
Makaria is standing there with the tip of her rapier just drooping in the mud, and you can't tell if she's happy for you or she wants to stab you in the face.
It's that one. Spoiler.
Maybe she'll roll
11 plus 3 is 14.
It's dead.
All right. So
So yeah,
yeah.
Ben's not getting his dice back, is
So
he?
now,
No, I'm not. His dice are cursed every time I
Oh,
roll.
okay, okay.
I'm
I
a
understand
DM,
this is his.
and as a player, I can ever use DM dice.
Yeah.
Even though I bought these dice.
no, you really need to. Yeah, you guys really need to watch out for that.
Put 'em
Way to
away.
show your appreciation.
I
dice.
throw my hand axe at the rock behind me and then have to go find it in the mud.
Okay.
Just out of anger.
Oh, I didn't hit that.
I'm gonna give Makaria a second before I talk to her.
Yeah, you can let her cool down. Okay, so
I got it.
all of the
Can I touch
lizard
myself
folk,
and heal myself?
you may do as you wish. You are the doing.
I minor illusion several small hand
But maybe word it differently.
It's
She's the
fine.
doyen. She's regent. She can do what she wants.
I gotta touch myself to cure my wound.
If you're, she's got to cure her wounds.
Okay.
So can I roll like perception or history or something to see what her staff deal is? See if
I would have you roll. Well, what do you mean by? Are you trying to see if you would know that it's that it's a symbol of her rank?
Yeah,
'Cause
or
the
just
answer is
like
no.
Like that she would be a druid because she's
But I can-
Oh, he knows
I can
she's
tell
a druid.
she's a
Yeah,
druid.
no, he knows right away. Thorns came out of the ground and then she healed him.
I am
Yeah.
carrying a real powerful staff.
Yeah, she's got a
Okay.
big old
You know he's a
streak.
druid.
So while I'm
I'll tell you
saying
what.
they're
If you
carrying the most
roll high
powerful
enough
staff,
on your history check, I'll say that you came across it at some point during your travels and research,
okay.
and you can surmise. But what do you get on your history check?
An 11.
Okay, yeah. You know it's a powerful magic staff. You're 99% sure she is a druid of some kind. You have no idea that it means her rank, that it's a symbol of her office.
Can I tell what branch she is?
Roll another history check.
That's a 9.
She is not oak branch.
Okay.
That's as far as you can get with it. Okay?
32.
Okay, so
Attraction sucks.
there are a bunch of dead orange lizard folk lying around. I don't know if any of you are going to fall to looting and or taking bits from the dead.
They were a bunch of dicks, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the stranger in the middle of the clearing is bloodied, right? Are you
Not
bloodied?
quite.
Okay,
I was almost there.
okay. So the healing word kept him from being bloody, but he is clearly wounded. Lilliana is clearly wounded. I don't
Nope,
think
I'm
anyone
not.
else.
I just healed myself.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
Liliana looks great. See,
Yeah.
I didn't even
See,
notice.
I didn't
I didn't even
yeah.
notice.
You're-
Well, I was
Like-
going, ow, 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 ow.
Yeah.
And then it was like,
Then I healed myself and I'm like,
ooh, ooh, ooh.
everybody okay? Anybody? Good?
Fine, I
Um,
guess.
Well, if you look around, you're gonna see that the elf in the middle,
Sorry, I'm sorry.
the
I
big
got really-
muscular elf.
Did you
is-
see
I've got
my new
ceiling
spiritual
word.
weapon?
All right.
I got a new toy. I have to play with it.
That's,
Did you guys see the wall?
7.
I didn't see the
Okay,
wall.
so this
That's
elf
epic,
strums on his. Or wait, do you have pipes? I can't remember what you have. What do you have as far as I know
What
that
do you
most of your performances are
Pan
racial.
flute.
Okay, so he's all, and you feel wounds stitch up.
Okay.
He doesn't look. He looks pretty far away from a druid. He's wearing very
Okay.
fancy clothes. Too fancy
Yeah,
for the
describe a
swamp.
character. What do you look like?
Too fancy. Yeah. Why don't you describe yourself to
Okay.
everyone?
So I am a pretty large elf. I have that like curved greatsword, 2 axes at my hips, some javelins at my back. I'm wearing this orange cloak. The rest is just kind of like general like mercenary garb, like harness, like nice easy, like cheap shirt, whatever. Like long, luscious elven hair.
Yes.
You know?
The color of burgundy.
Yeah. Finally,
Aged.
like wine aged to perfection. Yes. And I like right now. I'm just eyeing specifically Liliana with suspicion.
Who has apparently
I
gone
would,
straight
I would like to use my
I have.
medallion.
Oh.
I stepped on a lizard man as I.
Okay, my sword's out, and I'm not necessarily pointing it at you, but
Okay.
I'm just holding it.
He's
and
not
just-
not pointing
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
I would
Hey,
like to use
Vesper.
my medallion of thoughts
Vesper.
to
It's your
detect
lost
thoughts.
brother.
Okay. What is his saving throw?
It's going to be
It's your
15.
DC. Okay, so roll a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw for me. Willpower saving throw. Wisdom
Oh,
saving
that's
throw.
a 19.
Okay.
Well, no, I get the first level, but I don't get anything under that.
Right. So basically, when you hone in on him, it's just a picture of him, like laughing maniacally as he cleaves through lizard folk.
Okay.
I'm gonna come over to you since he's still got his
Okay,
out.
so you guys. So how many of
I
you
would
are
like
approaching
To do a medicine check.
Versal?
Are you okay? Natural 20.
He looks pretty wounded. Are you going to try to actually touch him and bandage him?
I just did a medicine check.
You just want to see what his
What's
so
your HP?
I'll say
40 out of 64.
Okay, then I'll.
make a dexterity check to stand atop the rocks. I said they were covered in slippery moss.
Slipper.
And you may be. I hope you brought your extra strong codpiece, because if you fail this,
I'll just fall into the arms of my unseen servant.
yeah,
It'd be like Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
will.
Thanks reference. That's an old one.
Noticing how hurt you are.
You realize you're Whitney Houston in that metaphor.
Oh,
Is it a one?
God.
Is it a one?
It's a 5.
Okay. You slip and fall and land prone in the mud, which is basically your worst nightmare.
Oh no, Vesper!
Then, I won't even make you make a perception check for this. Your unseen servant, who is standing on the other side to catch you, comes trotting around and helps you up out of the mud.
I'm
And
just
you
gonna
feel
heal
a
you, okay?
ghostly.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm gonna do that again.
Prestidigitation.
Don't like this.
Prestidigitation.
Okay. All right. So your prestidigitation. Makari, what are you doing? because you're standing near to Versal. Or,
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
because
Versal.
they're talking
Mhm.
and he still got his weapon out, so I'm just like kind of standing there, like kind of ready, like.
Okay.
I'll let her touch me to heal me
11.
just because already healed me
Well,
once.
and I'm kind of momming you, and I'm like, just touch it. And then I reach out, touch you for 11. So yeah.
Okay, Kethra, what are you doing? I forgot to pick up that.
I'm not gonna put away my new toy. I'm gonna leave out the spiritual
Okay.
weapon. Just kind of.
It is hovering behind Versal currently.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it right there.
'Kay.
Because I don't like this whole sword thing that's going on.
Yeah. Well, technically, he's still outnumbered.
I know. But if I have to just knock him out,
I'm 100%
right? That's my
oblivious.
thought.
No,
Is
you
it's
totally-
not
yeah.
like
So,
yeah.
I'm 100% oblivious,
Just a
and I
little
think
bit.
that you're just leaving it out to guard us from other lizards.
Yeah, just that's right. That's what I say out loud.
I say, "Hi, I'm Lilliana. What's your name?"
Versal. They call me Longclaw.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Where are you from? I haven't seen your kind before.
You're kind. He's an elf. You're an elf.
He's covered in lizard armor. He's like a,
Yeah,
like
he's
a warrior.
he's not from
I don't.
Arragas.
Elf.
I have a friend who's kind of like that. He's
No, I
from the
don't know,
mountains,
so.
and he like grew up hunting stuff, and then he
Mhm.
joined the Druids, and then he became an asshole. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways,
Yeah, most druids are assholes.
you from around?
Wait, time out. Like, did you actually say druids are assholes?
Yeah.
Well, I said yeah.
Said that
became
he
an
became an
asshole.
asshole when he after he became.
I mutter lots of things
Okay.
like that.
I don't know. Did Kethra actually say most druids are assholes?
No, I would have. I feel like I was just being a smartass. That was not in character.
I mean, if you had, she probably would have gone yeah.
I go around everywhere.
Alright. Okay, have you seen... We're actually out here looking for some stuff. Have you seen anything weird in the area? Any, big rocks with
Look around at
drapes
all
around
the
them?
rocks. I see a lot of rocks.
It's a special rock where I think something bad happened a while back.
So everybody except Kethra and Versal, make a perception check. Kethra, you're just going to automatically know this.
Me too?
No, yeah, you too.
14.
14. All right.
12.
Okay.
18.
Okay. So Vesper, you can't. His accent is a little weird, and you can't really place it. The two of you automatically know. The two of you, he's speaking with a slightly dwarven. He's speaking common, but he's speaking with a dwarven accent.
Yeah, okay.
Like there's a slight dwarven tang to all of his words.
And I would probably know that because...
Yeah, you're picking it up. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
picking it up.
Well, I've got like family that adopted dwarves and stuff, so...
A dwarf,
A dwarf.
not dwarves and stuff.
Well, and now...
We got 3 dwarves, 2 cats. Straight
my-
off.
And I love how they're like pets. We adopted one. We keep it in a cage
Several
at
of my
night.
friends are dwarves.
Hey,
It's a kennel and likes it.
apprenticing to be an armorsmith. It's fine.
I found my pencil.
He's around his own kind sometimes now. Anyways.
Do you say that out loud?
How much of this is out loud?
I doubt that part was out.
Kethra is just jaw dropped. Not even.
If we had been having that conversation out loud and I hadn't just been like, oh, he's speaking with a Dwarven accent,
Okay.
then maybe, but no, we probably didn't say that all out loud. Yeah, did you kill these things a lot?
When I can. I like
that's
killing
a-
things.
It's a really cool cape.
Thank you.
I ask you in Dwarvish. Do you often come out here to kill these things?
I say to you in Elvish, I don't speak that. What are you saying?
Oh, she's just asking if you live out here or you do this all the time. Like, if you're hunting
Weird,
or
huh?
if you just like surviving.
Kethra does not believe that.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I
go
do
around.
speak Elvish as well, so I did know
Oh,
what he
okay.
said back. But
I go around and doing some hunting while my crew is in the city.
Oh, okay. Well, hope we were helpful. It's Do you mind if we kind of look around and see if they've got anything? We're looking for some specific things, so.
Rocks.
Yeah, go ahead and you get the impression that she's asking about a specific huge rock, and that's interesting to you that a druid is looking for a specific rock because that could mean something based on what you were researching.
Okay.
Or what you're trying to find answers to.
Gotcha.
Also, you haven't brought up that she's not Oak Branch yet.
Okay. So, what branch are you from?
Holly, I'm actually regent right now.
Okay, Sword's just pointing at you now.
Yeah.
And the hammer moves
Whoa,
closer.
whoa. What's going on here?
I mean,
You're
everybody's
gonna need
allowed
backup.
their preconceptions, but you might want to talk to me first. What's wrong?
Don't like druids.
I don't like most of them either.
Mostly the oak, but the leaders
Yeah,
usually.
they're jerks. That's kind of. Have you seen oak
All
druids
right.
out here?
Shink.
Have you seen oak druids out here?
Out here, not so much.
The last one you ran into was a year ago.
I mean,
Okay, that sounded ominous.
like, why don't you
ran
like oak druids?
into.
He ran into me, okay?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was just doing this, and he just kept
ran
running.
right into it. Not my fault. He just
I-
fell on my sword.
Why don't you like oak druids? I mean, other than the obvious.
They've taken many things from me.
Such
Okay.
as.
What did they do to you? I mean, okay. In all fairness, I think you're not like a secret druid spy, are you?
Can I just smack
No, yeah. Welcome to my
You have to
world.
tell me if you're a druid spy.
It's 19.
He is absolutely telling the truth.
Okay,
He
okay,
he is not a druid spy.
okay.
I meander around the rock. I feel like.
I think that the oak druids might have had something to do with some bad things that could have happened around here. So any information you could give me would be super helpful. They really don't like me right now, though. So if you know about any of them around, please tell me so that we can.
I'm gonna roll insight now.
Okay.
See if you're a druid spy.
That's a 3 or 4, so.
She seems like she's telling the truth, and you, even if she's lying, you like what she's saying about the
Yeah.
Druid. You're like, yeah, they are kind of assholes.
Alright.
I mean, you can ask if they really don't like me.
Okay. You know what? Alright. I just open up my shirt. And I have a big old birthmark on it.
Check it
And
out.
I've got my hammer ready. What the hell is going on here?
But I've got this
I
big
want that.
old birthmark on my chest.
Uh-huh.
You should show it to her. Show her
Yeah.
a picture.
Oh,
You have a. I drew a picture for you.
It's this right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very. I
Talking
mean,
to me.
roll a history check,
Okay.
and let me show the audience.
get all the secret
What
stats.
happened? There we go.
Screenshot it.
All right.
Stats.
No, those are just notes for him.
Did you say history?
History. Yep.
Man, tonight's been.
2. It means nothing to you.
Can I roll history?
Absolutely. You would not recognize it at all. It's not any kind of human history,
No.
even remotely. Only druids would know.
I had that one. I had that one.
When I was 8 years old, the oak murdered my family and tried to kill me. Because, according to them, I am a prophesized elf that will bring an end to elven society.
I don't disagree with that.
You look like the kind of elf.
Welcome aboard. That sounds like great.
That is that. you know the oak branch to be the most militant as far as resetting people for reincarnation. So while that sounds horrific, it's not beyond
surprising.
the realm of possibility. Yep.
This is not helping
God,
my
I hate it
opinion of
when you do
elves
this.
at all.
Yeah.
You and me both.
Okay. So you haven't seen them recently.
Last one I saw was a year ago.
Did they try and kill you a year ago? I say that in Dwarvish again.
Look, lady, I don't.
About 11 o'clock.
I'll get you to slip up with
I
it
really
this
don't
time.
think he speaks Dwarvish.
Mhm.
You don't speak Dwarvish, do you?
I think no.
No.
I
Why
laugh
do
in
you talk with a Dwarvish
Elvish.
accent?
Say my it was good.
Oh, you're killing me.
I can't.
Oh, yeah.
I could do she.
Vesper's really loud. It's like echoing.
The woman who raised me since my parents were killed
Okay.
was a dwarf.
Wow, that's like the entire reverse of my family. Okay. Well, would you maybe want to accompany us since you're so good at the lizard monster things? And I'd really like to talk to you some more about this big old rock. Because I really don't know what they're up to right now, but it doesn't seem good.
It does so happen that the rock sounds important to me too.
Okay. Give me just a minute, and I'll lead us there. I can't remember, but I can, so hold on. And I will cast Locate Object as a
Sure,
ritual.
as a ritual. Yeah.
Spend 10 minutes doing some little...
Okay, so while Lilliana begins cast, you guys have seen her cast rituals before. You know it's going to take a minute. What are you guys going to do?
Loot the bodies.
Okay, looting bodies. What else, Vesper? Does anybody else have any questions for Virsel?
I'm gonna start skinning one of them.
Okay.
Maybe it's two. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
itching to talk to him about how good the armor is that comes from those things whenever I'm done with my ritual, but I won't
Okay.
interrupt the ritual
Okay.
to that.
I'll look for, in addition to looting the bodies, I'll look for more evidence of Dwarven stronghold secrets.
Okay.
Things
Okay. So looting the body. What about you, Catherine?
These are sentient beings.
They are.
So I'm going to be doing last rites.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a knowledge religion check. Because since you specifically learned the green lizard tongue, because you wanted to, it's possible that you came across notes about their
Funeral rites.
funeral rites and stuff.
I got
They
a
get-
14.
They
A
get
14,
two dead
okay.
mouse over the eyes. and
So,
stuff.
you know that the lizard folk believe, or generally
Liliana, can you
speaking,
give me some mice? No.
mice.
Yeah, they get dead mice over the eyes.
Oh yeah, to
instead
pay
of coins.
the ferryman.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
mean, I
you
can
know
try
to
conjure.
lay them to rest with their weapons because they have a hunting based religion. Effectively, the more things you kill and the more powerful things that you kill while you're alive, the higher rank you are in the afterlife, and you go to just a big hunting ground where you hunt all day and feast all night. And they need their their best weapons with them for that journey. So you know to bury them with their weapons.
Okay.
And then you say a few prayers and do that kind of stuff. Okay, so the two of you that are looting the bodies, go ahead and roll 2d12. Add them together.
$11.
Okay.
Also 11.
Okay, great. So you guys each find trinkets of, like small pieces of jewelry and bits of things, equaling about 11 silver pieces worth of value that you can probably just trade in. When you get to Arragas, somebody somewhere will take them,
Maybe we could trade them with the green lizard people.
or you could keep them to trade.
And they
yeah.
could give us dwarven coins.
Yeah, they are. You do notice that a lot of the lizard folk wear thin bronze armbands and like wrist and ankle bands. It may have something to do with their current life ranking system. Like the more things you killed, the more armbands you get. So some of those are amongst your haul, right?
Okay.
Make another perception check for me, Vesper, looking for dwarven runes or evidence of dwarven coins or whatever.
That's gonna be 14.
Okay, you don't find anything that suggests to you that there are any dwarven runes around here, and you don't find any of the strange coins or even any dwarven coins in amongst the lizard folk. Okay.
Don't forget to check their trinket bags.
Yeah, that's what they got. It was the trinket bags. Yeah. Okay, so you finish skinning a couple of the lizard folk. And you basically just roll their hides up and bind them with some leather thongs. You get finished with your spell. Yeah, that's what they're
Is
called.
that how we package it?
That's what they're called. It's like a strap,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not thick. It's not as thin as a lace.
Yeah.
Listen, we got 7 different French fries in this
There was
country.
a song
Why
about
don't you
it.
grow up?
Cisco, he loved the song.
All
Alright.
right.
I will finish my
Yep.
spell and be like, okay, guys, you got what you need because it's this way. I think. I mean,
Yeah.
within.
Yeah. You point in the correct direction. You're like, let's head this way.
I'm gonna walk behind
I'm gonna
Veersel.
talk to
Okay.
him. Like, so does that make really good armor?
I just
Like compared
make
to
clothes
leather.
out of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It just pisses them off, you know.
He's not wearing much in the way of armor. He's wearing very loose, comfortable clothing, but you don't. He's not like.
Can I feel
He's certainly
his
not
cape?
like Kethra. Ketra's covered in armor.
Sure.
And
Ooh.
I feel his cape, and I'm
Oh,
like,
his
ooh,
cape.
it's nice.
Yeah.
Is that what
Oh, yeah. I thought it was just like, so you use this arm
His
to
pack of
skin?
thorns.
Is this the arm you use to skin?
Fresh undies for the walk.
Okay, so you guys head off. It takes you another hour or so to get to the stone. You guys notice it in the distance fairly quickly because remember it is a rather large stone that has toppled over, right? And it looks super weathered. And you get to it, and you search around. Lilliana goes basically around to the side where the carving is, and she begins looking at the carving, and she's sort of tracing over it with her fingers. And Lilliana, just as you suspected, you have discovered the difference between this carving and every other carving of the Tree of Life that you've ever seen. Right? So previous carvings, the religious symbol that's on your person, the religious symbols that you've seen everywhere, every carving, every depiction of the Tree of Life has 12 branches that intertwine in a big circle like Celtic knotwork into 12 roots. So it creates this infinite circle of life and growth and rebirth and right. This carving has 13 roots.
And 12 branches?
12 branches. There is a 13th root carved in amongst the roots, and it does not attach. It just dies out. Like you can trace it a little ways, and then it stops. It just disappears behind. It's like tucked behind some other roots in the whole Celtic knotwork.
Is it
motif.
connected to the circle, or does it?
It
appear
comes
to-
from the trunk, and it goes down into where the roots begin to circle around to become branches, or the branches begin to circle around to become roots, depending on what branch you're part of. But it disappears. But there are clearly at the base of the trunk 13 roots, and at the top of the trunk 12 branches. And every other carving you've seen, it's 12 and 12.
Do I see this as well?
You can see her tracing, but until she says something about the 13th root, if she does at all, you're not going to notice. You're not going to know enough of their religious symbol to know it, to catch the distinction. Am I pushing? in
Those
something?
are my feet.
I'm sorry.
I need room, Sean.
Yeah,
These
I
are
do
really
too.
long.
I do too. Yeah. Okay, so you can write that down.
Yeah.
You should write that down in your fancy notebook. But
I will.
what do you make of that, Liliana? This is the
Liliana's-
first time you've ever even seen a carving like this.
Lilliana's very confused.
Mm-hmm.
Tell anybody?
Huh?
Did you tell any of us?
Well, I'm probably gonna sit there for a little bit, scratching my head and trying to figure out if, like, I can tell if it extends beyond the circle, or if it just stops somewhere, or it just gets lost in the rest of the carving.
Have you found
No matter how you trace it, you can trace the roots to the branch 12 times. Right? You can do that. You know which branch is which root. It's exactly the same as every other carving you've seen, except that there is a 13th root that intertwines down in the root system, but then stops somewhere behind the scenes and does not actually connect up to a branch.
Vesper's gonna ask if you found the Dwarven Fortress yet. Have you found the fortress yet?
What are you talking about?
That's why we're out here, right?
For
We found the gold. We found the rock.
I understand
Yeah.
how all this connects.
And we get in the
He,
fortress.
well, he thinks the rock is leading you guys to a dwarven fortress.
Oh, that's why we were looking for the rock?
Yeah, don't you remember Kurga told you guys to look for any
I
dwarven
don't
markers?
get how it's all connected. Okay, there's the
We went
dragon,
with her
there's
at
the
the
gold,
holiday.
there's
So we have no
Druids,
idea.
there's
It's not-
Right,
chaos,
right.
there's the and then a 13th branch or a 13th root.
The maple.
Huh?
And I'm just like staring straight at Liliana. It's the maple branch.
What is the maple branch? I don't know what the maple branch is.
No? You never heard of it.
It was lost long ago, and my parents were trying to bring it back.
Oh.
It's a little ominous that it's just a root, though, don't you think? And not like a branch.
Well, this
but
is a very old
there is
carving.
no branch. There's
Yeah. This carving
But
predates her mom.
Right.
But it would make sense if it's an old branch, because the old branches still feed the tree of life. I mean, they still fed in.
They sound
But
lazy to
it
me.
sounds like they've tried
They
to.
just didn't strive to be a branch.
What
So
was
they were a
the?
root.
Do you know what the maple
Your
branch
guys'
was
elven
like?
thing is so complicated.
That's
Why
all I
can't you
know.
just have it like humans do? We have it straightforward.
Yeah. Just speak
You
more
guys have to
dwarvish.
learn to
It's
listen.
there.
Okay. You ever, how long you been here? I don't know how old you are.
23.
Oh, okay. So you're young. Okay.
He's not that young. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't get his grown-up name for like 80 years. Like,
Yeah, like, I mean, we're all.
those people are like adults. That's old.
I mean, I get it. I'm the old person here, but you know,
We just had a long and loving childhood.
and
Right.
sheltered and.
Longclaw did not have that.
Okay, so your parents were trying to bring back the Maple Branch. Why? Were they part of it?
I don't know.
How were they trying to bring it back? Do you know anything about it?
What I've learned since their passing. I was but a
Oh.
child when they died.
How did you find out about that then?
Just from different trading and
I've
you ask a lot of people about this stuff, like what's going on, what's about this prophecy, and almost nobody has anything in the tidbits that you've gotten. But you, the way that you know that your parents were trying to start a maple branch is because that's one of the few things that you remember them actually talking about between the two of them to your older siblings. And you didn't, when you were a kid, you didn't understand. You just thought they were talking about maple branches or maybe, a maple
like
tree
trees.
somewhere, whatever. It wasn't until later when you started actually uncovering all this stuff about the different branches and all this stuff that the maple branch took on a different meaning. For
What were
you.
your, give me your name again.
Vyrsil.
B-E.
VYRSIL.
Hold those elvish names.
Longclaw.
Long
And
is
then-
the last name I gave you.
Officer.
Can I ask what your parents' names were?
Maple Grin.
Okay. And this would have been 20 years ago or so?
15 years.
15 years ago.
I don't know why I get this visual of you two like sitting down and Liliana's
Yes.
got like a notepad out and she's like, okay, 15 years ago.
Well,
Well, Liliana's just
instead
asking.
of
It's just a
writing,
picture of a
I'm just
unicorn.
like sitting
Look at
there,
it.
cross-legged, scratching my
God.
head, and like trying to like draw little lines in the sand to figure out how everything fits together. Basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so look. Have you found any weird dwarvish coins out here? Or weird treasures? Heard any stories about dragons?
Well, you heard one story about a dragon that attacked Arragas 9 years ago. Back in the Boner. Thousands of people died. That's the only story of a dragon you know, though.
Okay.
Yeah. None that I don't think you've heard.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, man.
Okay, so you guys are all standing around the big rock, and discussing and or just listening in to the discussion. I'm going to make sure you guys are on there. Let's pull this like that. Okay. By the way, your hammer's gone away by now.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, a portal opens up near you guys, and some druids step out from the portal. Liliana, you recognize all of the druids right away.
They came directly in front of me.
Well, no, the portal is off to the side.
Can they see us?
Oh yeah, they're watching you. They're watching all of you. Anyway, we'll just pull some druids out. These are just supposed to represent. This is not Ornithalos, even though it looks like him. And then yeah. Okay, so the three druids that
Is
step
that one
out.
wearing any clothes?
She was sculpted that way.
Okay. I'm just
Uh,
curious.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
leather. That's very close to
Well,
her.
she's a
Oh,
druid.
okay.
She's a druid. It's you know she likes to be comfortable in the warm weather.
She's one of the pink-skinned ones.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
Fig leaves.
Okay, so the first thing that you recognize immediately, Liliana, is that all three of these are heads of their respective branches because they're all carrying
Because one looks like Santa Claus.
they're all carrying basically the same doyen staff that you have, except they're slightly separate. They're slightly different decorations on them. But you would recognize them even without the staves because they're prominent druids within druid culture, right? So the woman wearing the red robes, the elf with pink skin, her name is Nanthaline Sharpheather, and she is the doyen of the Heather branch. The younger purple-skinned elf
Wait, she's the doyen of what branch?
of Heather,
Heather? Okay,
Yep.
right, yeah.
Sharpheather. The younger purple-skinned, lavender-skinned elf is Ravariel Ashtrunk. And he is the doyen of the Ash branch.
What?
Ravariel. Ravariel.
Sorry, them elvish names.
Yeah, they like their ELs and their LELs.
I'm glad I came up with this like wood last name naming convention.
Yes,
so
it was very smart.
half their name is
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, like Preslin.
He's not
and
a
then-
druid. He doesn't count.
And then the older druid, who has blue skin and purple hair, similar in many ways to the other two male druids that are around. I mean, the other two male elves is Lorisan Ewberry. And he is the doyen of the Yew branch, which is one of the 5 main branches, along with oak, holly, rowan, and birch, and yew.
Okay. Quick questions.
Yep.
What do I know about their branches with regards to maybe wanting to murder me?
Okay. Well, you don't know if any of them want to murder you, but they do have very stern looks on their face, and they are basically eyeballing you. The Heather branch is responsible for secret knowledge and privileged truths. So they basically are the lore keepers of things that not everyone should know. Like, they sort of decide who gets to know important things. The Ash branch is they're the ones primarily concerned with caretaking of the infinite pool of life, so like the infinite reincarnation and renewability. That's their charge. The U branch is in charge of change and transition, specifically the ending part of a change cycle. So when druids are dying for whatever reason, they very often go to U branch druids who will ease their passage into the next iteration of life. They are, from a spiritual standpoint, like from have I cultivated my spirit enough to have considered to be grown, the U branch is basically the experts on that. They can read your aura and say, yes, you've grown, or no, you haven't learned what you should have learned in this lifetime. You'll be coming back as...
Are they like the Kevorkian druids?
No, they don't generally assist with
Okay.
suicide in
Seems to
a
be a
real
theme
way.
amongst-
Well, I mean, druids don't... All druids would assist you with suicide. Like, because druids don't see it as an end. They're literally just turning it on and off again to reboot you in the pool of life, and then you get reincarnated as something else, and you get to
Well,
start the process over again.
It depends. Like, Holly Branch would think you're being appreciative of the current life that you have.
Right. Holly Branch, they're the ones
not,
that
like,
actually care.
individual-
Right. They care about the present. Holly Branch focuses on what are you doing right now with this life, and is it worthwhile?
Yeah.
Okay, so almost immediately, Nanthaline, the Heather Doyen, she moves over to the rock and looks at the carving. Like she, I mean, almost with a sixth sense, she is like, "Oh, what is this?"
I am
And she goes over and she begins examining it.
100% insight checking
Okay.
to see if any of them have a look of familiarity when they look at that rock.
Okay.
11 is 13.
No, Nanthaline, she seems to be genuinely intrigued by what she sees. The other two aren't really looking at the rock. The other two are watching you.
Hello.
Yeah, they... Lorasan motions you over with a hand. Yes.
I'd like to roll insight to see if any of them recognize me.
Okay, go ahead and roll insight.
I'm also sort of stepping in front of him.
And I'm going to go ahead and roll that Bardic Inspiration.
Okay, good.
That's a 21.
None of them appear to recognize you, but I will say that with the 21, Nanthaline has not yet looked at you.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
just going to, try and
She's
keep
like
someone-
entranced with the carving.
Yeah.
She's just like tilting her head and she's examining it. She's touching the stone. She's doing all kinds of stuff.
Well, and I sort of stepped in front of him whenever the portal's open
Okay.
because I don't want there to be a throwdown.
Okay.
I'm going to make sure someone's
Either
between me and
direction.
her at
Okay.
all times.
I might offer to disguise you.
I don't know if you want
If you
that.
look, if you
Between-
look like you're
between
trying
you-
to
Veer, so
cover-
between you and Lilliana? You're going to put an additional person...
No, between
you
me and Nanthaline.
Oh, Nanthaline. Okay, yeah. So Nanthaline's over here looking at the... Here, I'll just put the rock out. Since I have one. Okay, so she's over here and she's like staring at the carving on the side of the rock.
I'm going to stand
Okay.
here in
Okay.
between.
All right, so these other two druids move in such a way that they sort of form a half circle around you.
Okay.
And Lorasan says in a very deep voice, Nanthaline, let's get on with it. And Nanthaline turns to face you
Have you seen this before, Nathalie?
She says, she sort of waves a hand at you and says, don't stall. You know why we're here.
No, actually,
Will
I
you
don't.
move Kethra up a little bit closer?
Okay, so she says, we are here to officially challenge your ascension to Doyen on the grounds that you are not competent to hold the office for the Holly Branch.
Does she know what that entails? Like,
Yeah,
She has
you're
no
right.
idea. Ortholos did not tell her that such a thing could happen. He just sort of gave you the branch, and then he was like, "Bye, Felicia. I gotta go on a trip." Nanthaline continues. My companions are in agreement, and Laura Sands says, "Do not deign to speak for me, Nanthaline. I am here to make sure that this is done honorably and according to tradition." And Nanthaline kind of looks at him, and she doesn't roll her eyes, but there's a very dismissive glance that passes between the two of them.
Oh, like how me and Fed look at each other.
And Nanthaline says, trial by 1 or trial by 3.
Is it Druid quiz bowl time?
I bet I know exactly what that is. Yeah, trial by 1 or trial by 3. The choice is yours.
Perhaps I'm not the best choice, but I trust Ornthelus's judgment. He proclaimed me regent for a reason. What grounds do you have to challenge his judgment when you're not part of our branch?
By the rights of the council, we can challenge any new doyen of a branch, especially a major branch that has 1/5 of the vote of what all druids everywhere do. Do you accept the challenge, or do you step down from office?
I will accept the challenge.
I hope
However,
you would.
I am in the middle of dealing with a situation.
This situation, as with all others, can await.
Really?
Trial by 1 or trial by 3. Choose.
Do I have a guess what that means?
Lorison approaches you and says, "Do you understand the charges that have been levied here?"
No, I don't.
It is.
Prison here.
It is.
It's really great for you.
You are being tested to see if you are worthy to act as regent for the Holly Branch in Ornthelas's absence. You are allowed to choose the manner of your trial. You pick between 1 opponent or 3 opponents.
3-on-3 or 1-on-3?
1-on-3 or 1-on-1. You must face this trial alone as doyen of the Holly Branch.
Okay. I'm sorry, but this has been a recent addition to my life.
We are all very well aware of that.
Regulations are not my forte, and it's been a busy day. May I choose the time, as in get a nap first?
No. That is a good question. I don't want to...
Could I just get these charges?
Yeah.
I'd like to-
But I'm afraid that the time of the challenge is now. Any
I'd like to inspire.
denial of the challenge constitutes a rescission of your ascendancy.
Not denying the challenge, I just need to know the rules if I'm going to play by the game. You know.
You will get to choose the size of the combat field, and you get to choose how many opponents you will face. If you leave the combat field, you fail. If you fall in combat to your opponents, you fail.
I really have to do this today.
Do
I'm
the thumb
fine.
war. Make it the size of 2 thumbs.
Or rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, 2 fists.
Um,
Or palms. I don't know which one's bigger.
I'm just gonna say
For you, not much difference. For Vesper, it's like, that's amazing.